over the Atlanta Dream in front of more than 17,000 fans. More than 17,000 fans came to that game in Atlanta last night. It was the largest WNBA game in Georgia history. Dream had a chance at the end, but missed a couple of threes that could have tied the game. So Indiana gets the win. It is their 14th win of the season. That is the most games that this team has won since 2016. To put that in context, Kelsey Mitchell, who has been balling for the Fever in their last few games, had 29 points last night. This is her 7th professional season in Indiana. It is the first time that she has won 14 games in a season, and they still have 10 games to go. And back in 2016, they, I think, won 17, and it was a strictly 500-based season. But the way this Fever team is playing, we talked about it last week coming out of the Olympic break, they are clicking in a really fun way to watch. They almost let go of the rope last night against the Atlanta Dream. They had a much better first half than second half, but you have Caitlin Clark, who with 19 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds in the win. That is now a almost bad game for Caitlin Clark, which is indicative at the level of which she's playing, because with that game, it was her 21st game this season with at least 15 points and 5 assists, which is the most in a season in WNBA history. So yet another night of history making for Caitlin Clark. She tied the rookie record of threes made in a season. We're making stats.
Why is that?
Because it's a stat.
Why is that?
Because the numbers say so.
What? Come on, man. We don't have to dweeb it up like this. We don't have to nerd
We
it up
just
like
talked
this.
about being nerds.
We don't have
this
to
is what we do in the sports space.
No.
Oh, yes.
No. We've got to stop. We are getting to where this is what we do in the sports space. But it's baseball used to do this. Baseball still does this. I don't need to view other sports the way that baseball analytics view baseball. That takes away from some of the enjoyment. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal basketball player. It's exciting and exhilarating to sit down and watch her. 15-5 is not a stat worth talking to me about. Don't say it to me. Why the hell I care about 15-5? Get that out of here. No.
So 15-5 is not an impressive stat from a rookie who rolled her ankle yesterday and sucked it up and got back in the game, taped it up and got right back in there and led her team to a victory. Her and Kelsey Mitchell combined led her team to a victory. But she is the point guard. What do you mean 15-5 is not impressive? Well, it's a true 15 points. What are you talking about? And as she stated, that's a bad game for Caitlin Clark, and they still won. And she didn't put up 15, she put up 19 points. She's just giving a stat saying 15-5. She put up 19 yesterday. And her team got a win. That's impressive as a rookie who has the most responsibility as a rookie. So I'm not sure what he's talking about. 15-5 is not impressive. It's not, oh my God. But you put up 15 points as a rookie with the defense that's played on you. That's impressive. 5 assists, not to mention that her teammates are blowing layups left and right. So those 5 assists can probably be 8 assists, 9 assists, 10 assists. So I'm not really sure, what the issue is here with 15-5, knowing what Caitlin Clark gets on the defensive pressure end when she has the basketball in her hand, knowing her teammates are blowing left and right, blowing layups left and right.
I think it speaks for the consistency at which she's playing. So 21 games, 15-5. At the minimum, and she has had many without. She also moved into the top 10 of WNBA scoring. Again, she's a rookie. And when we had this discussion last week, we went into the notion of how long would it take for her to feel comfortable, to look comfortable. She is there. And that came last night after early in the game, she rolled her ankle, had every television executive very fearful as she laid down there holding her ankle. She had me sitting on the couch like, oh no! Her Achilles. You know how I'm going to respond every time someone holds that leg, Kevin Durant style. Oh no, her Achilles. She was fine. She came back to the game. She talked about it afterwards. She said that the replay of it made her look soft, but you don't play basketball if you've never had an ankle injury. She came back into the game. It was funny listening to her talk about it after the fact. So you had that little scare. But she was good. She came back, and to have 14 games at this point, this season, 14 wins for the Fever, they are definitely on pace. By no means have they locked up a spot in the playoffs, but if they continue to play at this rate, it looks as if they will be able to make the playoffs in her rookie season, which is awesome.
3-1 since the Olympic break, right?
At US Bank, when we say we're in it with you, we mean it. Not just for the good stuff.
I must be on the wrong channel,
man.
man.
This is a team that
My apologies.
is playing real well right now, and you compare that and contrast that to what they were at the start of the season. It's phenomenal to see the not just the continued growth of Caitlin Clark, but the growth of the team as a whole. Mitchell, Boston at the forefront of that, right? Like it is, Caitlin Clark is going to put so much pressure on your defense because of what she can do shooting the ball and how she can finish at the rim, that it pulls extra defenders to her. That it just has to. That's just how it has to be to have a Mitchell out there who, and we saw it some early when they were losing games. Like, oh, I don't know about everybody else, but this Mitchell chick can shoot.
Yeah.
And to see her continue to be able to do that and continue to be able to finish open looks and contested looks, oh, that just adds an added dimension of difficulty to what this offense is. And I think, again, Aaliyah Boston's ability to make the next pass, to be a pressure relief valve, one, and then to make the right decision when she gets the ball, two. Make herself available to Caitlin Clark off of the double off of the screen, and then make the next pass out of that, which leads to either an outright assist oftentimes or a hockey assist for Aaliyah Boston. I think that is huge as well. Another year of this, and we might be talking about this Fever team because of those three as legit contenders in the W, like as soon as next year, which is wild when you sit down to think about the fact that their two best players are in their first and second season.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That right there was a great take by him. 100%. What Caitlin brings to the table, she is such a threat offensively. She gets double teamed. Defenders have to slide down, crash down, help. And now Kelsey Mitchell, I can sure she can attest to this. This is probably the most open look she's had playing the WNBA. It's the most games she's won in the WNBA. Kelsey Mitchell is contributing, and she's been doing it all year, as stated. That was a huge take right there. Another thing he touched on is Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston, she could easily average a double-double, possibly, I'm not going to say average a triple-double, but don't be surprised if AB has a game where she has 10 assists. She's making the right read. She's very patient. She understands where her players are going. She understands how to pump fake on a back door just to get a defender to bite on the wing, to have her wing wide open for a three ball. I've seen her make numerous great passes this year. I think AB is coming into a great shape player. And as stated, these are young players. This is first and second year players, AB and Caitlin Clark. Now, me personally, I would love to see Kelsey Mitchell stay with this group. I think this group, if they could get a couple more pieces, this is going to be a problem. Everybody talks about the coaching situation. Yes, we understand that completely, but that is out of our control. Lynn Dunn and everybody over there in the Indiana Fever organization, they need to come up with some type of game plan because Caitlin Clark doesn't need a second-year coach. She needs a veteran. She needs a Greg Popovich. She needs a real Tyronn Lue. She needs a real veteran coach. She might even need a male coach, to be honest. Not just her, the whole Fever team. That's how good this Fever team and potential they have. Maybe you get rid of some pieces. Maybe you get rid of Wheeler, Wallace. We'll see. But I definitely love that take. That was spot on right there.
Dantas off the bench had a couple nice threes last night. Was impressed with that. They've also got that Temi Fegbenle back, who played early in the season, was injured, came back. She is the one who smoked a couple layups last night for the Fever. I do appreciate a player who has an excellent sense of humor and can laugh at herself. And she posted after the game a picture of her and Caitlin Clark where she's coming in for a hug for Caitlin Clark, and she's like, "Hey, old buddy, old chum, bring it in." Mood after smoking both layups after two great Caitlin Clark passes. A win's a win, but it seems like I was doing all I could to prevent that tonight. Onwards and upwards. I was like, yes, just own it. Own it when you miss Everyone's missed a layup. We were talking about it in the pre-show. It happens to the best of us. But you see somebody who still has to acclimate oneself to catching some of those Caitlin Clark passes because they're so fast. They have so much zip on them. And when you're in transition, you just have to be able to have the soft finish coming off of it.
I'm not going to give Timmy an excuse or anything. She definitely should have finished those layups. That was pissing me off because like I just said, she just called it out. Caitlin Clark, that 15 and 5 you're talking about, buddy. Her teammates are blowing wide open layups. So that 15 and 5 you're downplaying and shitting on, that probably could easily be 15 and 8, 15 and 9 as a point guard, as a rookie. So it's right there. She just admitted it.
Expected.
Yeah.
The way that Caitlin Clark is passing the balls is not only a surprise for the defense, it's also a surprise for you as the player receiving the hoop, the ball, excuse me, as you're running towards the hoop, because you're not expecting those types of passes. I think it happened a bit, not comparing the two, but I got Magic on the brain. I think it happened a bit with Magic, where sometimes Magic would throw dudes the ball and it's like, wait a second, why is this here right now? I'm just kind of going through the motions. I wasn't expecting to prepare for it. Like when you have a player like a Caitlin Clark who has that type of court vision and that type of precision when she passes the ball, you're open all the time. Mm-hmm. So if you're running towards the rim, you need to run towards the rim with the thought, I'm going to catch this ball right, left, or left, right, up, finish it.
Yeah.
Because she's going to get it to you if you're open. If you're about this much, she can throw into the tightest of windows. Caitlin Clark, thinking about tight window passers, might be a top 10 tight window passer right now in sports. She's better than most of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, just sitting down and watching a Fever game, that is one of the most fun pieces of it, is watching Caitlin Clark pass the ball. Like, sure, it's fun to watch her pull up from a logo 3, and last night she had a situation where she missed one logo 3, switches to the opposite side, gets the pass off the rebound. One of her teammates rebounded it, passes it back out to her, and she fires back from the opposite side of the logo. Like, who else are you confident taking back-to-back logo 3s right now? Caitlin Clark is one of the only people on the women's side of the game. Obviously, you always think of, like, I would have Steph take 5 logo 3s if he wanted to, and probably wouldn't blink that much.
Is there anybody else in basketball?
That's what I was trying to think.
Trae Young? Trigger Trae?
No. I would think it's a curious case study because, like, every time Peyton Pritchard came in for a hot moment in the playoffs, he would just fire off a super deep 3 and he made it, but it wasn't the consistency.
That's a half-court shot.
I know.
That wasn't a 3. That's half court.
Yeah.
That's completely different. That's a completely different shot.
Look, man, I'm going to end that show right there. The only other person I can think of right now off the top of my head who can come in the league right now, who just comes in and just hits logo 3s is Damian Lillard. When he gets going, Damian Lillard is a trigger. I am talking about he will light your ass up with a blink of an eye. If Damian's feeling himself, he goes like this. Damian Lillard, yeah, that means get up out the way. Spread out. It's my time. So that's one of the only other people I could think of right now who could just knock down logo 3 after logo 3, being conscious with it. Yeah. But besides that, that was actually a good take. I back and forth. I do like that take actually a lot. And they're spot on with a couple things, with Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell and the Indiana Fever and the stride they're making. Look, they're 3-1 out of the break. They got the Sun tomorrow. This is a good team. Indiana Fever have beaten some good teams out of the break. And I think they played a little slow versus the Lynx, me personally, but every other game that you watch them after the break, they're making defensive plays. They're getting their hand on the ball. They're forcing defenders middle. They're forcing defenders to create turnovers. They're trying to get the defenders to play at their pace, the opposing team, which is fast. And when other teams play fast, they're going to make turnovers. They're not the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever protected the ball last night. They had a minimum turnover ratio, which I liked. And then everybody contributed. I think Dantas needs to get more minutes. She went 4 for 5 from the field in 9.5 minutes. Chrissy Sides didn't want to put her in the game. She missed 1 3 and Chrissy Sides took her out. She was 2 for 3 from behind the arc. Katie Lou, she got pulled out of the game, or she took herself out of the game. Only played 6 minutes last night, which is fine. But one thing I need to see the Indiana Fever improve on, if they're going to make it far in the playoffs, is being able to protect the lead and close out a game. If they can learn how to close out a game and protect the lead going into that third and fourth quarter, they'll be just fine. But they got to put together a solid 4 quarters of basketball, stay intact throughout the whole game, and continue to put the pressure on the defense. One thing I kept saying yesterday when they had a 20-point lead, go downhill, get the defense to create contact, get on the line, play your pace, and get the defense in foul trouble. They let it slip a little bit, but they were able to stay composed and get the win. But it was a little scary, I'm not going to lie. But they ended up pulling it off. They got the win, and on to the next, man. So 3-1 out of the break. Shout out to the Indiana Fever, and shout out to Jessica, my guy right here. I forgot his name. But besides that, man, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all my new subscribers, everybody liking up in the videos. I appreciate you guys. I see all the comments, good or bad. Look, I know I just did a video about the Angel Reese situation. Guys, you got to understand, man. I'm not up here trying to just fluff stuff. I'm just going to tell it how it is and how I see basketball. Forget who the name on it. Just talk basketball. That's all. But look, man, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. It's your boy, C. O'Connor. Welcome to Game Day. I'm out.